We know you've had a long, successful career with GE. They taught you much about operational processes. Today, you're working with a healthcare company, helping them install processes as it's rapidly doubling in revenues from 100 to 200 million. What are a few process tactics that you put in place there that you learned at GE?
Yeah, I don't think it's any different with this business, and it's been in a number of businesses that I've grown in that have either needed to be fixed because they just weren't operating at the performance level that they should be operating at, or at this business where it's been the great opportunity to grow and double a business within a year. And those three things are, for me, process mapping, people mapping, and then digitization and technology application. And let me expand on that a little bit. I think first and foremost, when you go into any business, the two things that you've got to map in that business is, I go back to what drives the success and closing the gap between your objectives and your strategy, is you have to map the people I have versus the people I need for where this business is going to go. Secondly, you need to map your as-is processes and see if they're good enough to take you to your to-be objective. And that's why I talked about, closing the gap between your objective and your strategies about your people and processes. So those are the two things that I've been doing in this healthcare business for the last 6 months, is mapping out our as-is processes and where do we need to go with those processes in order to double the business, take advantage of a marketplace, and the same thing, do I have the right people to do that? Fundamentally, when you look at those two things, then there are two changes that they drive where you see opportunities. One is to improve the talent mix in your business that can support and drive a doubling of the size of that business or improvement in the financial performance of the business. And the second one is improvements in processes that take out variability. And for me, most of the times when I'm looking for improvements in processes that take out variability is how do you take that from being a manual process to a digitized process. Utilization of technology today to drive improvement in variability, improvement in efficiency, improvement in repeatability.
Can you give some examples of variability in a company? It doesn't have to be the healthcare company.
Yeah, I think variability in processes is driven because they just don't do the same thing every day in a particular process. So because they don't have a documented, well-monitored process, people want to get to the end goal, and they'll do different things to get to the end goal. And what they believe is that they're doing the best they can for the business, but person A will say, I'll get to the end goal by doing these 4 things, and person B will say, I'll get to the goal by doing these 5 things. And at the end of the day, one of them is less efficient than the other one and usually has lower or higher quality than the other. That's variability. The variance in how you do things to get to an end goal is variability, and it's measured in quality and efficiencies of your operations.